Hello, and welcome to another episode of Develop with WP, a show where I try to teach other developers more about WordPress. Today's video is going to be the final video in a series that I've been putting together where we've been working with the media modal/media uploads within WordPress. And really, this series is going to be mainly looking at fixing a few minor bugs that I talked about in the last video at the very end. Primarily around having broken images when you first load a page, or if you delete an image and save, we see broken images. So we're going to want to fix some of that. Another thing we want to look into are these buttons. Up until this point, the buttons have always been visible, so we have both the remove and the add button. But really what we would like to do is have these only show the correct button based on the certain situation. So for example, if there isn't an image, then we should have an add button, but we shouldn't have a remove button because there's nothing to remove. So we're just going to put some polish on this project and bring it to a very nice closure. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. What we're going to do is we're actually going to create a new function. We're going to put it up here. We're going to say var toggle visibility. I don't know if I spelled that right. Equals function. And this function is going to take what I'm going to call an action. It's going to take a variable called action. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it two different possible actions. It's either going to be an add action or a delete action. So we're going to go say if add equals the action that we give it, then we want to do a couple of things. We want the add button to disappear, right? We don't want to show it if we're in the process of adding an image. That means we've selected an image, so we no longer want to show the image, the add button. So we're going to go image.style.display equals none. And then also the delete button, we want it to display. So we're going to go delete button.style.display equals empty quotes. All right, so we're going to make it visible. And then what are we missing? Oh, we're going to get rid of all this image styling stuff. We're going to move that. We're going to move that into this function. Likewise, if the action is a delete, we pretty much want to do the opposite of all that stuff. So we'll go add button style. Let me just copy all this really quick. We want this to be that and this to be that. And we're going to go image.remove attribute style. So now we have this visibility function that kind of takes care of a lot of the showing and hiding of stuff, which is nice. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to call this function. So we'll just call toggle visibility. And since we're in this is the add part, we're going to go add. And then down here, we're going to go toggle visibility. This is going to be the delete because we're deleting the image. And then when we get down to our window thing down here, we need to do some conditional checks. And then what we need to do is we need to check for that empty string. So if we have an empty string, we know that we don't have any information. So if custom uploader or uploads dot image data. If it's an empty string, or if 0 equals length, or if we have an empty array, because that's another option, situation we could run into. If we have an empty string or an empty array, then we know we don't have any we don't have anything to show. So we're going to go toggle visibility, and we're going to go into the delete mode because we don't have an image. So when we delete an image, that's removing an image, which is the same state as not having an image. So we're easily able to repurpose this toggle visibility down here for the same principles. We want the same end result as this delete toggle visibility. Else, down here, we want to still set the stuff, but we don't need to do that manually adding of the image, the styles. We can just go toggle visibility to be the add action. All right, so we got a broken image, refresh. Still a broken image. Why do we have a broken image? Let's find out. We'll go in here. It should be right in here. Let's see what's happening. We should be getting this, which we do. Oh, whoops. I never moved this stuff in there. I was like, what's going on here? Something ain't right. Alright, well, it helps if you put stuff in your else statement. But hey, look, debugging. See, I was able to figure that out pretty quickly. All because of debugging. If you're not using the Chrome developer tools to debug your JavaScript, you're pretty much flying blind. That's all I can say. Alright, boom. The image went away, and look, our delete button's gone. So now if we add an image and select it, now we just see the remove image, and that's so cool. And if we go testing something, publish, it's still there, and it knows to put a remove image and not an add image. But if I remove it and I update, we don't have any broken images or add buttons there. Everybody's happy. So there you have it. We now have a fully functioning custom image uploader that you can really use anywhere, anytime. You could really repurpose this code over and over and over. Really all you have to do is the JavaScript over here runs off of these values. Really all you'd have to do is change the caching of these 4 DOM elements, and more or less you could just keep reusing this. But for those of you that stuck around this long, I have even more awesome information for you. Again, we always want to learn, and we always want to keep expanding our horizons. But for those of you that maybe have found that this tutorial was a bit daunting, and you still just wanted a media image upload thing that was a lot easier to use, I have a solution for you. I built a plugin that's called WP Image Uploader, and you can get it on GitHub right here. I'll make sure to put a link in the description. But pretty much you download the plugin, and activate it. Then what you have to do is, similar to what we've kind of done, is you have to create a meta box, right? You create a meta box, and then in that meta box, the meta box callback, instead of putting all the information we did with the hidden fields and nonces and all that stuff, you simply create a div and you give it an ID. In this case, I've given this one the ID of image1. And then you're going to use a JavaScript file. So if you haven't already enqueued a JavaScript file, you would need to enqueue your theme's JavaScript file. But I would think most likely you already have one. So, but I've done it here. I've enqueued a JavaScript file for my admin. And now I have this main.js file with nothing in it. And the way you use my plugin is you go var, and you create a variable. So I'm just going to go upload one, you could call it whatever you want, equals image uploader. Right? So this is kind of like creating a new instance of this custom uploader that we did earlier. And then all you have to do is go upload1.init. And in this initialization function, I need three things from you. First, I need the ID of the div that you created in your meta box. So again, I called mine image1, so I'm just going to pass in this ID, in quotes, image1. And then I want to know whether or not you want this to be a button or a link. So now in the tutorial that we just finished, we created these with buttons. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and I'm going to do this as a link. And then last, you just can give me an empty object. That's something I hope to fix in a later version, but for right now you have to pass an empty object. So if we save this, and we go in here and we refresh our post, you'll see that we have this add image. And if we click it, we can select it and we can add it, and it works just like the stuff we just built. That's all there is to it, really. And you have an image uploader in 2 lines of code. I will just expand on this just a little bit, but you can change things. So it says remove image and add image, but that's what this empty object is for. So this allows you to change like the add button, and you can look at the documentation on GitHub. But if you pass in add button and you put something else like click me, and we refresh, then it says, I'll remove image. Then it says click me, and I give you the ability to look at the docs to change the delete button, the add button. I also let you change like what these things say and what the button that's kind of off screen down here says, and all that kind of stuff. So if you didn't quite grasp everything we taught today, I have a really cool plugin that you can activate, and really quickly in just a few lines of code you can have this same button, and we can put this thing anywhere. You just give me a div with an ID and I'll make it happen. So again, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it informative, useful. If nothing else, I hope you found a cool plugin that I just showed you. But anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Share, like, subscribe, tweet, give me a comment, thumbs ups, all that good stuff. And without further ado, have a wonderful WordPress day.
Crank it up.